Living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Podchaser, Rumble, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So that's what this show is about. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. No Kardashian talk at all, no Kanye talk. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And so I have topics and guests. If you missed any of my last show, you just saw the promo. Great guests who bring their limelight to shine it on areas of darkness so that we can learn and grow and expand. And I'm so delighted today to officially begin my newest series. I have a fabulous, beautiful inside and out woman here with me. You see her on the screen. Her name is Beth Linder Moss, and she's the author of an Amazon best-selling book, Think Healthy, Be Healthy, hosts a weekly national syndicated podcast. So she's just like me, a little bit of a recovering overachiever because she wanted to be on with me as well. She's a certified health and wellness coach, certified personal and group fitness trainer, certified sports nutritionist, and an exercise physiologist, having earned her Bachelor of Sciences degree from Penn State University. She's helped thousands take positive steps into their journey for a healthier life through the written word, social media, one-on-one training, and through group sessions. Please welcome to my studio, Beth Linder Moss. Hold on. Here's the applause. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
And I am so excited to have you. And so today we are going to do the in-depth, and I told her I don't do pre-interviews. I want to get to know her and what she has to offer and what her journey has been. So this is her debut show with me. She'll be on every Tuesday morning, the first Tuesday morning of the month. So I'm going to do what I like to do on introductions. You heard the formal one. So this is the informal one. So I don't have an answering machine. Do you remember what those are? Millennials, you may need to Google that. I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So Beth, who are you and what do you want?
Good question. I am an average, person like everybody else, but I am somebody who loves to help others. I love to watch people's journeys. So I like to help them when I say watch people's journeys, and that means getting healthier and more confident in themselves. So I love to watch them start at one place and then keep on growing. And I love to help them get there and watch them and see how everything goes as they're going with it.
Fantastic. Now, did you know when you were a kid that this is what you wanted to do?
No, I didn't. So it kind of started actually when I was 16. My dad happened to had his first heart attack. Thank God he's in his 80s and he's still alive. But I was 16 and he had his first heart attack, and that made our whole family go into a much healthier lifestyle. And So I was still like in high school at the time, but then when I went to college, I was still I went in undecided actually. And then I took a couple courses in like health and fitness and exercise science. And I just like fell in love with it. I actually started in cardiac rehab. So the first part of my career was actually all in cardiac rehab. So I got to work with all these, people who had cardiac problems, trying to prevent worse ones from happening, people who already had events. So it all started really from my dad having his first heart attack, and then it kind of spiraled into a much healthier lifestyle, and then me loving helping people get better and get healthier.
And that's why she's my co-host, because I love people who take things that are not necessarily great that happen to them in life and turn them around into something that helps others. So she just proved or explained why she is my new co-host. So you've been doing this for years now. You've certified yourself in just about everything except cooking, but so
I
you're
do cook, although I will say I do cook a lot. I have a son who has celiac and a dairy allergy. So before celiac and gluten-free was everywhere, I was actually cooking all of it because he was diagnosed 16 years ago.
Wow.
So I started cooking it a long time ago.
Wow. Okay. So celiac, it's funny. You don't hear of something and then in 1 week, this is the third time I've heard about it. So that means hopefully I don't have it, but if you have it, what does that mean?
No gluten. You're completely gluten-free.
Okay. Because it's an allergy. What happens to your body?
So for my son, he's violently ill, and for him, the reason why we found out actually was his first 5 years of life, he was actually failure to thrive because he wasn't growing and he wasn't absorbing any of the nutrition that was going in. So once we took out the gluten, and he was also allergic to dairy, but once we took out the gluten, he was able to start absorbing again. And he was also like always having a lot of stomach issues and stomach problems and everything. So once you take it out, it actually helps you. And there's a lot of other health concerns once you have gluten in your system when you're not supposed to. So
interesting. And this is why I love, I was never open to co-host, but I was only on once a week. So, I needed my time. But since Fred, the station owner, promoted me during COVID, and I have every day, I had the opportunity to bring on people who are experts in areas that I love to learn about. And so that's what I love having right now. Now I'm thinking like, what else do I want to ask you about this area of health? And so, before we, and I know we, and what's your son's name? Because we're going to spend
My son is Ethan.
And how old is he?
He's 21.
He's 20. Wow, you must use oil of Olay. You don't look like you have a 21-year-old. That's great. So so it's not something that's the end of the world. Like, so when so there's plenty of things, and there's more people I think that are when it first came out, I know people were like, oh, please, how can you be allergic to flour? How can you be gluten? It's all over the place. And that's, on the food pyramid. And I think I actually have a touch of it because when I have it, I automatically bloat. Like I go into like 5 months pregnant or so 3 or 4.
You could have an intolerance as well. So you can have a gluten intolerance, and then you could also have celiac. So like for someone who has a gluten intolerance, you might, once you get it, you'll start feeling bloated and other things. But if my son happens, and if my son gets even like one speck, one little crumb, he ends up like in the hospital and gets very, very sick.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So if you, resemble anything we're talking about, you can go to Beth's website. She has lots of information on there. You can also consult with her because you do have a private consulting practice. Yes. And we'll go ahead and put in the chat her website, which is Go ahead, tell me.
BethLinderMoss.com.
All right, there, BethLinderMoss.com. And the reason why I'm pointing this out right now, too, is for those of you who are not driving and tuning into the AM, FM on their way to work. Did I get that right? Can you look at did I get the spelling right? Make sure it's right. You can actually chat with us and you can actually ask her questions when she's on. And this is live so that you can.
There's a dash between that Linder and the Moss.
That's why I wanted to ask you. Yes. So dash between
Linder Moss.
Linder Moss. Got it. Okay. And I'll do that again in a second. And what you can do is ask questions during the show. We're going to have you tell me, what can people expect to learn from this special series?
I think that we're going to cover, everything from health and your wellness, your nutrition, full body. That's really what I'm about. I work with your whole entire body. I am, an exercise physiologist. So I know a lot about like the body and the system, but I also am very, very into yoga. I do yoga all the time. I'm certified instructor for that as well. So we like to think about the entire body from head to toe, inside and out.
Beautiful. Now I'm going to be the, who's the co-host to the Johnny Carson. You're going to be Johnny Carson. I'm going to be the other guy. I'm the shell guy. So I'm going to put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of the elephant in the room, and ask you some real questions that you are subject matter expert for. People who are listening and wondering, especially since it is that New Year season of you start out, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to work out, this is going to be my year of health, this is going to be what I do. And then I think about now, I meant to look that up. There's a certain date that things start falling apart. And I think it is around now. This is the season, right? This is the my bathing suit says to go and do laps in the pool, but my sweatpants say, you're okay, just stay on the couch. So those ads that come up that say no exercise needed, just take this pill, it will dissolve your fat. I think it was on Shark Tank, all these things, which sounds so good, so tempting. And I have to be honest, I actually fell for it a couple, 3-4 years back, and I bought it and it was in a capsule and I took it for 4 days and nothing happened, and certainly didn't do what that graphic, second up, nothing like that. So tell me, what is your formula for people who really want to lose the weight, but really don't want to do all the work?
So I will say, the one thing I will say in my book all the time, I'm like, there's no magic pill. I wish I had it. You wish you had it. Unfortunately, there's no magic pill. But so what my advice is to take it step by step. So, it's very hard to just jump in and just change everything at once, because then sometimes you feel like you're missing out or it's just way too much. So my biggest advice is to just take it step by step by step. And every time you do it, it's like I always say, you go up the staircase and you just take one step at a time. So we can make small changes as we're going. And you just take it. So one day you make a little change, the next day you make another change. It doesn't even, not even day. Let's say 1 week you make a change, the next week you make another change. And then we just keep adding on to each one. And then as we're going, all of those little steps, they add up and we're getting to the top of that staircase. So it's just doing it step by step. And, it's sometimes we're going to say, is it health? Is it nutrition? Is it mind, body? Is it fitness? And we could just take all these different things that you're trying to do, and we just kind of take it, like I said, step by step. And that is, I think, the best way to get to the results that you're wanting and to keep the results that you're wanting. So there are many diets, like you were saying, take this pill or take this, eat these
Grapefruit.
foods, this kind of thing, right? And you can lose the weight. I'm not going to say you're not going to. You can lose the weight, but can you keep it off? And are you healthy doing it? There's some diets out there that are like, don't exercise. You're doing this, don't exercise. And what does that mean? It means you're not taking enough calories to sustain. So if you exercise, you're probably going to pass out, right? So if those are the kind of diets, really, I would suggest stay away from those. You want to do something that's going to be well balanced, and that's well balanced in every aspect of it. So if it's telling you that you can't exercise, that means you're not taking in enough calories. You're probably not taking enough fluids, and it's not the best idea. And will you lose the weight? I'm not telling you're not going to, but ask me 6 months from now if you kept it off.
Yeah, that definitely, because I know personally I've gained and lost probably 800 pounds my entire life. So it's not losing the weight, it's keeping it off. That is definitely the magic answer. So since you're here with me, I'm going to continue and I'm going to personalize this now. I have lost in 51 weeks. So in one more week, it will be a year. I've lost 35 pounds.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't tell you this when we were talking before because I wanted to do this here. So so people ask me, how did you do it? And for me, 88% gluten-free is one of the things. And then intermittent fasting, not eating after 8 or before 12. Okay.
Right.
And that may or may not be healthy, but I've never been a big breakfast eater anyways. So, not having breakfast is not that big of a deal. I'm not like, and I found that when I eat breakfast, it makes me hungry all day. So you can talk to that. I don't think it was my imagination. It may have been psychological, but and I work out every other day now. Before it was every day I would work out in the morning. Before the show, I would do 20 minutes of bike and then 20 minutes of swimming every other day. And then I would do 40 minutes of bike every other day. So I was biking every day. Now, in the last, I would say 4 months, I cut out the every other day. So every other day I do bike and pool, or when it's cold outside, I just do bike. And then every other day I do like, YouTube spot trimming, even though they say that doesn't work, seems to work for me. And then also, some back safe crunches and dead bugs and all of that. So that's what I've been doing. And I didn't have a specific goal. I just knew that I wanted to be able to look good naked. That was my goal because I'm ageless. Thank you for that heart. And thank you for tuning in. It looks like we've got great eyeballs coming in. And if you are wondering who's in my studio today, she's my new co-host on Tuesday mornings. First Tuesday of every month. Her name is Beth Linder Moss. She is a certified everything, and she is my show staff expert now on anything that has to do with fitness, health, losing weight, stepping up into your best life. So if you have questions, feel free to use the chat. Also go to her website if you want more information on her. And we're happy to entertain questions. She will be answering them when it has to do with this. I'll give you my take on anything from my experience, but she's the expert. So please ask her the questions. So what should I do to maintain this loss? And I'm thinking about maybe, I hide my weight very well. So people go, oh my God, 35 pounds. But the first year I stopped drinking, I gained 25. That was I call it the freshman when you quit drinking, right? Because of the sugar. And then I had 2 hips replaced. This is all in the last 14 years. So 2 hips replaced, 5 pounds every year for that, a couple 3 pounds for, even though that I am ageless, my body is aging. And so all of those things, I've had 2 kids. Those are all my excuses. And then when I, looked in the mirror and I shouldn't say this because it's kind of self-deprecating, but it is funny. People will say, you look great. And I'll go, yeah, but my clothes hide it. But if I took my clothes off, you'd run away screaming, your hair on fire. So I wanted to love myself enough to work on this aspect of me. Every other aspect of my life, I love. Looking in the mirror and seeing the fat, didn't love. So I've been doing it. I still, I'm not like 100%, not even 88% yet, like my body, but I'm better than I was a year ago. So there it is. Moose is on the table personally. Help me step up into my best body.
So I would say, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks.
And second of all, the intermittent fasting I find to be totally fine. The reason why is because in intermittent fasting, you're still getting in the same amount of calories you would if you were eating all day or if you were doing it during those 8 hours. So the fact that you're just getting it in during those 8 hours is totally fine. And yes, you were probably hungrier when you ate breakfast, because once you start eating, your metabolism is starting to go and to run. And so once your metabolism is going, then you're going to want to be eating more and fulfilling, that satisfaction. So that is probably why. And in order to sustain what you've already have lost, what you need to do is to continue to exercise, right? At least 3 times a week. It's 3 to 5 days a week is really what is recommended. And continue to just like watch what you're eating. It doesn't mean that you have to be quite as strict, but as you were doing it, you probably learned some really good choices of what you should have. Like, obviously, like, you're not going to go and have like an ice cream every single night, right? But you can, every once in a while, you can enjoy yourself with that kind of stuff, but it's something that you're not going to do daily, right? So you're going to make wiser choices as you are eating throughout the day. Even when you're going out to meals, you probably also learned how to make some wiser choices when you're going out and eating, because you can go out and eat, and you can still go to all these restaurants and stick to a healthier plan. So I would say that you have to continue to exercise and continue to make wise choices, but you might not have to be quite as strict, but you also every once in a while, right? Like, see how your pants are fitting. If they're starting to get snug again, then sometimes our eyeballs got a little bit bigger. And so like we think that we're taking this much, but we're actually taking this much, right? So if everything's starting to get a little snugger, then, go back and make sure that you're taking this much, not that much, kind of stuff.
Yeah. And no seafood diet. When I see food, I eat it, right? None of that. I just want to pop this up here. We have a beautiful endorsement for you from Al Lagrada. Personal endorsement. I can talk for many. We've been fortunate to work with Beth in a group fitness center. She's amazing and guide us through an exercise and nutritional journey with great results. That's so sweet. Thank you, Al. Do you feel the love, Beth?
I do. Thank you, Al.
Yeah, and he has lost 45 pounds and kept it off for 9 years. Wow. Thanks to Beth and her guidance. I think we definitely deserve a little bit of recognition. Yay, Al. Yay, Beth. That's so wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. Now, gosh, I had a question and then I lost it. It'll come back. But yeah. Now this is a little bit of a complaint, and I'm not on the 21-day fast from complaining anymore because we're past January. So I'm going to complain. Why is it that most men, not all men, but most men can lose weight much seemingly easier than most women. That is not fair. It's not okay. Sorry, nothing personal, Al, but it just raised in my, it's so not fair. Okay.
I
So why and how do I adjust myself? As long as I'm not angry for more than 16 seconds, I'm okay. So that was less than 16. Okay, take a breath.
I
Okay, I'm good now.
I totally agree. It's so not fair, right? It's totally not fair. How come they get to lose it so much faster than we do? But I don't have like the exact answer for you, but I can say most of the time they actually have more to lose than what women do. And so it's a lot of times when you have more, it comes off quicker. So, like if somebody who was weighing it, two people that were weighing in and somebody had more fat versus less fat or more muscle, the person who has more fat tends to lose a little, like the water weight. I'm going to say that quicker water weight faster, but it doesn't mean that they're
Mhm.
losing the fats faster. It's kind of like that quick water weight that comes off faster. But I don't have the exact medical explanation for you though.
That's okay. That's okay. I just needed to vent for a second. But we got a second guy here touting your fabulousness, which is great. Just started working with her, down 8.5 pounds in 4 weeks and feel great. Easy to talk to you. So knowledgeable. Thank you, Beth. Yay,
Thanks,
Brian, even
Brian.
though it,
Thank
it's
you.
just highlighting once again the unfairness, but I'm not going there. I'm not going there, but thank you for your comments, Brian, and look forward to seeing you at least once a month on the show, tracking your progress for sure. This could definitely be one of those group repositories of, yay, we're doing well. And I think that is group support. I'm thinking is one of those things that's a helpful device or strategy for
Absolutely.
people. Although, you know, maybe it's just me, but sometimes if I'm not losing as quickly as someone else, it's also a little bit of a downer, right? In a group setting, like you're rah, and I have to be honest, I'm told I'm a spiritual person and I'm supposed to be able to celebrate everybody else's success. And half the time I can, if I'm honest. And then the other half the time, it's like, how come they do and I can't?
Well, I think that so in the group settings that I work with, it's fitness and nutrition related. So we're not weighing anybody. So it's not like in like one of those types of settings where you come in and you get weighed. I never weigh anybody at all ever. So these people that are saying how much weight they lost, that is like on their own scales of victories. The way I look at a lot of the victories is that, do you have more energy? Are you able to do the things that you want to do every single day? Are your clothes starting to get a little looser? So, and then when you're in a group fitness also, you're also working on your fitness level. So are you able to do, something a little bit longer than you were? The first time you came in, you're like huffing and puffing and like, oh my God, you're like breathing like, right? Like, and now that one thing that you had a hard time doing, now it's easy, right? Like one of the sayings is that like what was hard is now your warm up, right? Because as you're getting better, every week and you're getting stronger, that's the part that when I do group classes together and I do any of the group stuff together, it's not how much weight did you lose and that kind of stuff. It's more of, how do you feel? Are you feeling great today? Do you have the energy? Are you able to play with your kids? Are you able to go for a walk? Can you take a dog for a walk? Can you go 2 blocks this week instead of only 1 block? That's the
Mm,
kind of stuff. That's how I like to measure it by, versus making anybody feel not good about themselves. I like to look at all the positives.
mm, mm.
So instead of putting on a scale, this way you are in a group fitness, and this way you actually have the support of others as well, and no one's making anyone feel like, I lost 3 pounds this weekend, you only lost a half a pound. It's not like that at all. It's, oh my gosh, look at you. You came in here and you're standing in the front of the room, or you're doing a jumping jack, or you made it, through the whole class and you didn't even stop. Like all those kinds of things are, like that's the kind of stuff that I like to guide stuff
Great.
on.
Great. Do you ever not feel like working out? Do you ever not feel like this is supposed to be good for you, but you just don't want to do it? Do you ever
You know
get
what?
that?
There are days that like I sometimes like I don't feel like running and I'll go and do yoga instead, right? Like sometimes like that's why I think it's good to have like a variety of different things sometimes. So that like, you're not always maybe always swimming. Instead of swimming, maybe you know that you should do something. So maybe or just go for a walk. Take your dog for a longer walk that day. But try and be active and not just totally blow it off, because it's easy once you start to blow it off to like get into that like bad habit of it. But if you can not fully blow it off and you just, like I said, go for a long walk, maybe you have a friend that you could go mall walking with or whatever it is, right? As long as you stay active in that one day you didn't make it to whatever fitness thing that you wanted to get to, but you changed it, that's still okay, because that way you're still doing something.
Now, I'm going to speak again, put the moose on the table for all the people who went through this pandemic, and COVID-19 stood for the 19 pounds that they gained because they had an excuse to not go out and not be able to do the things that they used to do. There's a number of people that I know of, and myself was included, that it's like this speed bump how do we get over that speed bump just to restart, or a soft boot or a hard reset for ourselves to get on? And we're going to answer that question when we come back from break. And during that break, I'm going to actually ask Beth to talk about her book. So we will be right back with more of Step Up to a Better Life with Beth Linder Moss and Dr. Marissa here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Gong. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes. Body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢. Be my partner, dance with me, just hold up.
All right. Sorry, I didn't tell Sam we were going to do this just a little bit different. But Beth, tell me about your book. You have it there with you. You spent some blood, sweat, and tears, and some. Go ahead and tell me about the book.
Oh, so my book is really about basic, simple strategies that can help you get a better, well-balanced life through nutrition and fitness and a well-balanced lifestyle right here. There's everything in it, and there's also recipes in it. And there's a workbook in the back. It's going to help you just start, or even if you already are on your journey, it's going to help you get through that journey and help you get on your journey as to getting to be healthier step by step. I'm with you all the way. As you're reading it, you're actually going to hear me talking to you. You're going to start to hear my voice in it. And you're going to hear me telling you all the amazing ways and easy ways that you can get yourself into a nice routine, whether it's taking the small steps of sleeping better, or it's getting into fitness, or it's getting into nutrition, it's getting into all of these well-rounded, balanced ways. It's going to help you, take you step by step and get you to where you want to be for whatever goals that you're looking for. And it's going to you're not just going to take from one step and jump all the way to the top of the staircase. I'm going to help you all the way along. And in my book, it's going to help you get there. So you get to have me with you by your side, and I'm going to guide you to get to a much better place where you're going to be happy with yourself and feeling way more confident.
Fantastic. And where do people get the book?
Anywhere, anywhere you could possibly buy a book, you can get it anywhere, from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any place that you can buy a book. My book is available for you to get.
Fantastic. And the book name is Think
Healthy, Be Healthy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And let's go back into the official show.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and Home Central is my YouTube channel where you can watch the entire show that we're having today, that you are actually witnessing live now, as well as my red carpet playlist with interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, The Temptations, Jimmy Fallon, and more. And that's a free subscribe. That way you'll get an alert every 8 a.m. morning for more hope and happiness here. So keep it here. And every Tuesday morning, the first Tuesday morning of the month, you will get the special news series we are in right now, Step Up to Your Best Life with Beth Linder Moss and yours truly. Welcome back. And welcome back, Beth Linder. And I gave you a question before, Linder Moss, and I gave you a question before we went on break. And I asked you, how do we get over that speed bump? For those people who are still sort of PPSD, I'm calling post-pandemic stress disorder, how do you kickstart back into wanting a healthier life?
I think that, well, first of all, the only way to actually be successful with it is that you're doing it because you want to do it, and not because your friend wants to, your spouse wants to, your mom wants to, anyone else, right? Your dad, whatever. You got to do it once you decide that you're like, I'm done. I want to feel good. I want to have energy. That's the first step. Once you get that, that's like the biggest step that you could possibly take, is to acknowledge that you're saying, I'm ready to take that step. So once you decide that you're ready, then what you're going to do is you're going to decide what your goal is. What is your goal? Is it that just something big, something small? And then we're going to break it down and take it little by little by little. Again, I keep going back to the step by step, but it's breaking things down. So find your biggest goal. It doesn't even have to be a big goal. Find any goal, small goal, tiny little thing. Is it that, you know what, because once you decide, like, I am so done, I do not want to feel tired anymore, or I gained that 19 pounds and I want my clothes to fit, or I don't want to sit down and have like something like hanging over, whatever it is, right? Then once you get to that point, then we can then go from there and even if it's okay, I'm going to just start walking, or it's I'm going to start sleeping, because many of us don't sleep enough, right? So we got to get our sleep in. Or is it that you just maybe a little meditation? Sometimes you're just so like wound up that you could do like a 2 minute or 1 minute, even sometimes you could find those quick little meditations. You could get an app for it. And if you're sitting in your car and you're, have like right before you're going to walk into work, or right before while you're waiting for the kids to come out of school, or whatever it is, put it on. 1 minute, 3 minutes, get that meditation in. It's going to help. So there's so many things that you can do, but once you make that decision, that's the biggest part. So decide that you're ready for you, and then it'll all kind of fall together.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another nice Beth testimonial here, and it's a woman. So I'm glad. Beth is great. Have been working with her for over a year. I've started to eat healthier. I've lost several pounds. She's very positive and easy to talk to. Thank you for everything. So there you go. Thank you, Sudeshna. Sarkar, I hope I got that right, for your comment. And
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm used to being the one that is being called positive. So I'm gonna have to get used to this. I'm being like challenged on my level of positivity. We're gonna blast the positiveness into the world here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm glad you mentioned meditation. I did play a little commercial for my own Chinese yoga. I did not realize that you were also a yoga instructor, and it is a combination of Tai Chi, Qigong, and a little happiness coaching. So I'm glad you also mentioned meditation too, because you certainly are. And when you told me you wanted to do more than just fitness, because that's what you've been doing and I didn't realize that you meant it in totality. Like, I'm so grateful that you have that kind of, I don't know a lot of fitness people who move beyond just go, go, go. You can do it 5 more times, 4 more times, 3 more times. And then they lie and they say 5 more times, 4 more times, right? That kind of a motivation. So meditation, which I'm a meditation teacher myself, and I see meditation as plugging into that energy that created the world, and just that moment of plug in and not thinking and not blocking your own ability to be, more than you can be. So that's my definition of meditation. I'm glad to hear that you want to do that. Have you always, like, that part of your journey fascinates me. Like, how do you go from 4 more times, 3 more times to recognizing that it's more than that?
I think it's just experience that I've been doing this for so long. I started as a aerobics instructor when I was in college. So, we don't call everyone aerobics instructors anymore. Now you're just trainers. But I started so long ago, I've been doing it for so long. Over 30 years, I've been doing all of this. And I think over time and learning and growing, so in the beginning, of course, I was like fitness, 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 but then it's fitness, it's nutrition, it's, your whole body. It's actually, I talk about the sleep, and I talk about, the meditation, your mind, it's mind, body, it's all, everything we have to put together. And I think it kind of came along with just experience. But once I started yoga, I love to do hot yoga. Is really the one that I do most. And when you have, and so once I got really into the yoga, that's where I think everything kind of really, really clicked together. And I've been doing it for over 10 years of all of that. And I think that combination, and I always tell people too, I'm like, as much as we're doing like go, 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 right, with the fitness training, I'm like, yoga is an amazing complement to all of the fitness that we're doing as well. So it's nice to have that combination of it. And, the same thing is like you were doing, your biking and your swimming, but then you said, I also do weight training. So when you do weight training with it, that's the other complement with that and with the yoga. So the whole combination.
Holistic balance, yin yang. It's all of it. And for me, I know what worked for my mind and the resistance that I had in my mind. Like, oh, I really don't feel like doing this. And I worked so hard and I deserve to, just like, and, I shouldn't be shamed anyways. I shouldn't be shaming about big bodies are beautiful and all of that, monkey mind, critical chatter. For me, one of the best strategies was the gospel according to Nike. Just do it. Like before I even engage the mind, the alarm goes off. I literally roll out of bed, get up, have my feet walk, press the coffee button, take the whole vitamins and then once I start, and then when I finish, I'm like, good job, good mama. That to me was the key to, how do you get over it? Don't even think about it. Right? Don't entertain the
negatives. We don't want the negative thinking going on. Right. We just, it's again, I'm very positive. Most people tell me I'm one of the most positive people they meet as well. So I'm always like,
we're gonna have a competition.
I always find the positive in a bad situation, so it's the same thing. Like, don't get that negative talk. Go remember how you felt when you were done yesterday or the day before when you did it. You felt so good. You felt energized. You were proud of yourself, right? So remember those good feelings and then you do it again. And if you don't do it, then you're like, oh my God, like, don't let the bad talk win. Don't let the bad talk win.
Yeah. That critic in your head. And I, that's the psychology part that I think affects a lot of people. If you logically, you eat healthy, exercise, eat healthy, exercise. If it's that simple and logical, why aren't we all fit? And, because we've got this thing that doesn't always act on our own behalf. So I think, the balance, gospel according to Nike, whatever it is that helps you with that. And I'm sure you have strategies in your book, Think Healthy, that help you with that. There's, get in touch with your inner creative when you're cooking with the recipes that you're offering. There's so much you can do. So both of us are here. You're cheerleaders. You can do this. And would love to hear, what has made a difference from month to month. If you tune in with Beth, we'd love to hear, what made a difference, what worked, what didn't work, any questions you have. That's what Beth is here for. That's why we're doing this new special series that's addressing, a side that I don't address with my other series. We've got relationships and romances on Thursday and Friday. We've got, life itself. We've got aging women, even though I'm ageless, with Colette Tracy on Wednesdays. We've got dream analysis, and now we've got loss, in the psychological with Yorona Boster, and now we have fitness. So this is turning out to be quite the mornings that you can start off with. What we did not do this morning that we are going to do right now is we're going to have breakfast together. And that is having a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And so we do like to, as we're going to positive all of your negativity out of you by having you use a spoonful of gratitude to make the things that you don't like in life go down. Here we go. What are 8 specific things that you are grateful for? If you're still on, Brian and Al and Sudeshna, what are you grateful for? And we're going to have 8 specific things that we are grateful for. I will start. That you can't say friends and family too general. The only rule here is specific and things outside yourself. We've got to do this quick. I am grateful for my new co-host, Beth Linder Moss. What are you grateful for?
I was just going to say, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so glad that our paths have crossed and that have met you and got to talk with you, and that I will continue to get to know you better. And so I'm very grateful for you.
Wonderful. I am grateful that, oh, Al said he's grateful for Beth. That's 3. I'm
Thank you.
grateful for Al, Brian, and Sadeshna for coming and doing comments. 2 more from you, and we're done.
I am grateful for my health. I am happy that I am healthy enough and have some strategies that I can help others be healthy as well.
Fantastic. Now, that's the top of the bun. And this is where it's a little bit different, because I say at the bottom of the bun, which I'm going to model for you, Beth and I will model for you before you go to bed. Most people have now the epidemic of sleeplessness, and people are turning to drugs. And I forgot to ask you about that. We'll see if we have time. Diet drugs. But when you go to bed, the tendency is to sit on this thing and continue to doom scroll, looking at all the bad things, or say to yourself, I didn't get that done. I should have done that. I shouldn't have said that. Or how dare they said that about me? So no wonder you can't sleep. So instead of those things, I want you to create the discipline, the habit of going to bed appreciating yourself. What do you like about yourself? So 8 specific things between all of us. What do you like about yourself? And the reason why this is so important, that I believe, it's my BS, my belief system, that self-care starts with self-love. If we really want a happy life 88% of the time, you got to know what you're good at. You got to be able to soothe yourself and compliment yourself and approve of yourself. Because if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect other people to approve of you? So what do you like about yourself, Beth?
My positivity. I like how the positivity of me can go off onto others. So I use it in advantage of helping others as well.
So positivity and motivating. Those are 2 things that you appreciate about yourself. I appreciate that I love to laugh and I love to play with words, if you've noticed. That's my creativity. So there's 4. Go ahead.
I always like to continue to learn. I feel, especially in the exercise science, it's science, which is an ever evolving place, so that we're always learning more. And I like to read about and learn about all the new different ways of health and fitness.
Fantastic. I love that I love to drive. I think I was a race car driver in another life, but I love driving. And it's so funny because one of my daughter's girlfriends said, I've never heard an adult say that. So anyways, go ahead. What else do you appreciate?
I appreciate that I get time to work out for myself every day. So every single day I do find the time to work out, even though I'm a busy mom, I have busy life, podcast, book, being on here, doing all the other things that I do, but I always find the time. So I appreciate the fact that I find the time to work out for myself every day.
And finally, I appreciate that I love myself 88% of the time. 88% of the time. And when the 12% of the time hits me in the face, oh well, no one's perfect. And I appreciate that I have learned that lesson before I die. And that is it for this show. We are out of time. Thank you so much, Beth, for joining me in this new series. If you could do this with me, it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through, inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
See.